All right, guys. In less than 30 seconds, we're going to start the stream off, guys. So, yeah, we got a pretty busy weekend of combat sports ahead of us, right? So, we got RAF, we got Glory, Kickboxing. By the way, a tournament that is going on. Um, what else do we have? We also have, obviously, Freedom 250 is tomorrow. By the way, man, Josh Hokit stole the show on that one. He said Ilya Tapora married a stripper in Miami, and the whole crowd went crazy, right? Which, by the way, kind of tells you a lot. Let me tell you what that tells me. Okay, the way that the crowd sort of reacted to Josh Hawkins' comment. What I got out of that was, hey, you know what? What we got out of Josh Hockett right now is a superstar. You want to know why I thought that immediately? Because first and foremost, obviously, the a good portion of the people that are going to attend this Lincoln Memorial press conference is going to be hardcore fans, right? I think we can agree to that. There's going to be a contingency of hardcore fans that are going to be there. However, you have to understand the magnitude of this event. It is an event that literally is made to uh, capture the attention of casuals. So, what that tells me is that many people are tapped into the storylines of Josh Hockett, the storylines of Ilya Tapora, or maybe it's just indicative of the fact of how much of a star Ilya Tapora is going to be even more after this matchup, right? If he does win, obviously. Um, Zorhan says hi. Hello, Zorhan. Let me know what part of the world you are from, my man. We are here covering a very busy weekend of combat sports. So glad for you to be with us today. Let me know what part of the world you are from, right? So we're also covering Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall, right? And I believe Anthony Taylor is boxing up next. So that should be fun, right? I've had an experience uh, with Anthony Taylor's training partner, Eugene Carrera, right, from Long Beach, Mexican American fighter from Long Beach. I interviewed him. If you guys want to check it out, it is on the live section of this channel if you guys would like to check it out. So, yeah, let me know on the comment section below how you guys are doing, what part of the world you guys are from, and also let me know what are you most excited about. I think everybody can say that we're all excited for the UFC Freedom 250 card, right? I think that's fair to say. That is the main event of the entire weekend, but we have a whole list of fights to look forward to beforehand. Eddie Hall, Glory, RAF. What else is going on? Is there anything else going on right now? How about this? Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is also boxing today, if you guys can even put that in perspective, right? Floyd Mayweather is going to box today. I cannot believe it, man, but it is what it is, right? Apparently, Showtime stopped him from doing that fight because he already had a fight coming up with Manny Pacquiao. So they decided, you know what? F it. Let's just let's just let him go through with it. So all right, man. What is this? Tom Aspinall is on DAZN right now. What is this about? What is this about Tom Aspinall and DAZN? But for Coleman, George is just feeling. Jake is asking who is fighting right now. Um, no one really important, right? I mean, no one that you would probably know. I mean, listen, I'm a hardcore fight fan, and I don't know, but right now there's this guy named Rakic Opic from Serbia fighting in the heavyweight division right now in Glory. So we are watching some Glory fights right now. We're also watching Eddie Hall taking on Tommy Fury. So that should be fun, right? Also, Floyd Mayweather. So he's fighting in Greece, right? I'm going to have to find footage and see where I could look for this particular matchup with Floyd Mayweather. But yeah, man. Also, the World Cup is going on today. Let me put that on the title as well, right? Because that is an important part of this whole entire live stream as well, right? World Cup. Who is playing in the World Cup right now? We're going to look at that right now in just a second. Yeah, so I'm looking for a channel that hosts the Floyd fight. All right, so still looking for the TV that is going to host the Floyd fight. Let me see here. All right, so we have Colin the Beast taking on this Serbian guy in the Glory fight right now. So, um, a shout out to everybody around the world that's tapped in right now. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this thing cracking and let's talk about Josh Koscheck, or I'm sorry, Josh Hokit, Josh Koscheck, Josh Hokit, and how he stole the show at the press conference, right? I mean, wow, wow, crazy work, man, for him to say all these things um, about Homeboy. Wow. Okay. So the thing already started, the Floyd Mayweather fight, the card at least, right? Not necessarily the Floyd fight in and of itself, but where is this? Wait, hold up. No, is Floyd's not fighting today? Hold on. Is Floyd boxing? Oh, okay, okay. So this is going to take place in June 27th. Okay, so this is not even in the radar today, right? This is taking place on, wait, it says here the 13th, but okay, so I guess they moved it on the 27th. This is according to Google. So according to Google, yeah, Floyd will be boxing in the 27th, not necessarily in the, what do you call it? Um, in the 13th of today. Okay, so we have a Glory Kickboxing right now. OPH taking on the Beast right now, right? Kickboxing action going on, and we have Luke Nevins. I believe he's going to be boxing Taylor. All right, good leg kick right here by OPH. So apparently, the need for this heavyweight event or this heavyweight tournament is to crown a new glory champion because what's his name already sort of oh, what is this, man? Yo, you're spamming on the chat, my man. What's going on with that? Okay, so Carlos Kareem is on the Eddie Hall matchup right now. All right, good head kick by Opiich on that one. All right, so Opiich with uh, moving forward towards the Beast. Okay, so a bit of some low kick exchanges right here as we're watching the Glory matchup, the Glory kickboxing matchup. The corner of Opiich is telling him, "You're not listening. You're I don't, what is he saying? What is he saying? He's not listening towards, huh?" Yeah, we're gonna have to ban these dudes right here. Put these guys on timeout. Boom. This one also putting them on timeout as well. Boom. All right. His opponent across the ring fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the white and blue. His official weight of 169.1 pounds. And tonight, he is also making his Misfit boxing debut. All right, Carlos Kareem from West London. He's making his Misfits debut, I believe. Is this his pro debut, though? All right, so we have ourselves a light heavyweight contest going on here. So we got round number one between Karam and Nevin. I wonder how long till the Eddie Hall fight. Let's see. When is the official weigh-ins? By the way, the weigh-ins was earlier today. Everyone made weight. Josh Hokit made it a focal point to be the last guy. He's a heavyweight, right? He could have just been the first guy to walk up in there and yeah, but he just decided, all right, you know what? I'm gonna just come in here last minute, give everybody some sort of like, I don't know, some sort of something dramatic to look forward to. So yeah. All right. So which matchup should we look at here, right? Okay, wow, there's a knockdown right there already. In the Misfits boxing, there's already a knockdown going on. Let's see if Carlos Kareem finish him off right here. All right, so Brazil versus Morocco, Qatar versus Switzerland. Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot. A lot of these matchups are going to be in prime time, right? Many of these matchups are going to be in prime time, primarily because of the fact that it's in the United States. It's not an overseas, that I'm usually used to seeing in soccer matches. So what do we got here? Qatar, Switzerland, Australia versus Turkey, Brazil versus Morocco, and Haiti versus Scotland. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go with Turkey. I'm sorry, not Turkey. I'm probably gonna go with Brazil to win the whole thing. I just have a feeling they might win it. They won it in 1994. I know those are a completely different team and different people, but yeah. All right. Meantime, we got a glory kickboxing matchup going on right here. Ooh, wow, man. Kareem swinging for the fences right now. All right. So that's the end of the round right there with Nevin and Karam. I feel like they just brought this guy in to lose for Karam. Obviously, that's kind of how boxing is. Meanwhile, right here on the kickboxing side of things, the glory event right here. I'm surprised Sam Pronto is not here. Um, he's probably watching this as well. But shout out to Samuel Pronto, one of the guys that's on the chat here on the regular. All right, so back in the clinch with the Beast and Opiich in the kickboxing glory, and then here's Kareem and Nevin starting round number two. It is. Wow, so he's already got a knockdown in the first round, and yeah, we are covering the Eddie Hall, Tommy Fury undercard, and the Glory kickboxing tournament right now. All right, so clinched up is Nevin and Karam right now. Oh man, out of nowhere, man, Nevin knocks down Karam. He knocks down Karam out of nowhere. Now, it was Kareem that was getting the best of him in the first round. He got a knockdown on him. Now he got knocked down himself. So now we're in a very competitive boxing match right now. Ooh, good body shot right there by Karam. Yeah, Kareem is in a very tough fight right now, from what it seems, man. It seemed easier in the first round, and the next thing you know, as easy as it was in the first round, it got a little bit harder right here. And we're also covering the Glory kickboxing card as well. So hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Let's get this thing cracking. Knockdown to be Wade, and then later in the round, Nevin went ahead and landed another. And we've seen him overhand right. Antonio Kareem down, and he got credit for the knockdown. Great action from both guys. But if I'm the corner of Nevin, I'm going to say, look, calm down. Don't try to exchange with the faster guy. After he shoots a shot. DJ, one notable run. I think really dipping as this fight progresses. Would you like to see him as that? All right, round number 3 between Nevin and Kara. Meanwhile, the heavyweight Glory fight is still going on right now. All right, that's a good 1-2 shot by Nevin and Karam. Good shots right there, man.
Both guys are looking for the counters right now, trying to time each other.
Good back and forth between them right now. Ooh, man. Samuel Pronto says, bro, you see Glory? Yes, I'm watching the heavyweights go at it right now. It's live on DAZN, you said. Okay, yes. I am watching it right now. Yeah, it's the heavyweights that are fighting right now, right? The OPH, and then what is this black dude's name? What's the black dude's name that's fighting right now? The Serbian guy that we're watching. I just wanted to confirm we're watching the same thing, right? Uh, Boapa. Okay, Boapa. Okay. Yeah, very interesting, man. You know, I'm glad that I did catch this one. You know what? I think Michael Boapea. Okay, Michael Boapea. Got it. All right, so let's see these highlights right here. Okay, so there's a head kick right there by Opic, the Serbian, round number 2. There's, ooh, wow, Opic going forward at Michael. Very tall, man. These are tall heavyweights. You know what? I wonder how these guys would do in the UFC, but I think a lot of that would be predicated on their wrestling, right? Now, oftentimes, the common knowledge right now is that, hey, you know what, these guys can't or I'm sorry, the common knowledge right now is that the UFC's wrestling is not up to par, right? That maybe a lot of these kickboxing guys can come in here and reign dominance against all the other heavyweight contenders, right? That's not necessarily the case, okay? Because now you have heavyweights like Josh Hokit, right? But I still would be curious to know how how they do in in the UFC's heavyweight division. So, oh wait, man, I'm watching the wrong thing. Hold on, I'm this is not yeah, I'm watching the wrong thing. Hold up, this is the wrong thing. Yeah, I was watching the wrong thing. I was not watching the live Glory, right? I was like, yeah, I was looking at something completely different. Sorry. Yeah, this well, okay, yeah, real error on that one. But let me see if I can find it at a better channel that has better coverage of it. Let me see here. Okay. Bam versus Vargas is going on tomorrow as well. Wow. Okay, that's in Arizona. Wow. Okay, you guys are gonna have a boxing event while an MMA at the White House event is going on. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see here. Where is Glory, man? How do I get to the Glory card here? Maybe VIP box may have it. Let me see here. He says, bro, I don't have a pay-per-view, but the fight is Sem Cardias versus Mo Tushachi. Okay. You are sure you look the good one? You are sure you look the good one? Yeah, I'm looking for the channel that may okay, so here we go. Here we go. Glory 9. There we go. Okay. I was watching, you know what I was watching? Glory 107. Yeah, and I thought it was live because of just yeah, a little bit of an error there, but okay, we found it. Okay, here we go. Light heavyweight Grand Prix. Boom. There we go. We found the channel. Perfect. We found it. F what everybody else is talking about. Here we go. There we go. He says, yes, sir. Collision 9. Yes, yes. So that's the proper date. Okay, so I got it. All right, all right. Okay, good. Michael Boapa. Okay, there we go. That's the guy you're talking about. Now I see him. Now I see him. Okay, so now we're clear. We got the right fights going on here right now. So all right, man. Just giving you guys a bit of some. He says, "Give me the info." Okay. Oh, okay. So are you? You're not watching it live right now. Okay. So you want me to do a play-by-play? All right. They're just showing highlights right now. I believe these are highlights that they're showing. Okay. So there's a 1-2 shot by Goapa, and I believe he won this one. All right. No. Okay, so Muhammad Tushashi is going to be the finalist. Okay, so Michael Boapea from Ghana. Okay. Artem Vatikov, he is the only man to beat Pereira once. I'm sure there were more people that beat for Ferreira, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm sure he's lost plenty of times. Boapaya is officially a middleweight. Wow. Okay, and so he decided he was going to move up a weight. You know what it reminds me of? If you remember during the Ultimate Fighter. Well, okay, this is for the MMA guys, right? Rashad Evans entered as a heavyweight, right? And obviously Rashad Evans won a belt at light heavyweight, and eventually he became a middleweight, right? He was a middleweight at one point of his career. And so, yeah, I think sometimes some guys, move up a weight just to join a tournament. He says last he even joined the heavyweight tournament. You're talking about the Ghana guy, right? The African guy, Boapa. He joined that is what you're saying? Wow. Okay. I didn't know that, man. See, this is what's great about how knowledgeable you are with kickboxing, because obviously I'm an MMA guy, and yes, I did compete in kickboxing myself. I did compete in Muay Thai myself, but I was more of an MMA guy in terms of the sport that I follow. Now, did I follow Muay Thai fights in Thailand? Till this day, do I follow 1FC Muay Thai, Thai Fight League? Yes. But not to the extent of, let's say, Glory, right? I think Glory is really a niche thing for Belgium, Dutch, and European guys like yourself, including the English and the French as well, right? So you know what? It's great representation because think about this, right? Cyril Gunn is the representation of this weekend's Muay Thai, right? In terms of representing Muay Thai at a high stage in mixed martial arts, right? And it's great that you have an appetizer like this, a Glory Kickboxing card. By the way, the circumstances of the fact that they are now looking for a new heavyweight champion because obviously he had to Rico Verhoeven had to let go of his belt. He says, "Bro, I was gonna check fast the highlights. I'll be back for sure, my man." So, all right, we got the guy from Ghana taking on this guy right here. I don't know much of the characters in the kickboxing world, but it's good that we're learning all these different characters in that part of the world and seeing what is what out of that. So, Samuel says the last fight is on our two light heavyweights fighting for the heavyweight title. I got Milas Silasayan, the white dude. He is a monster. All right, man. Well, you're getting me pretty excited for this matchup, man, or at least for this card right here. We got Donovan Wise now walking into the cage, right? Or I'm sorry, not the cage, the ring. He is now in the ring as we speak. All right, so Michael Boapan taking on Donovan Wise. Donovan from uh, Suriname. He says, "Do you have the link?" My boy, I am the link. You are tapped into the right channel. Donovan Wise is a middleweight champion that moved up. Oh, wow, man. So a lot of these dudes really moved up for this one. They really wanted an opportunity for this one, right? Guys that are not real light heavyweights getting an opportunity at light heavyweight. He says, I got 2 wins over Michael Boapapa. He's got 2 wins over Michael on middleweight. So this is a rematch. Wow. So that's the thing with kickboxing, right? You often see a lot of rematches or quadruple series going on, right? It's kind of that type of sport where it lends itself. Yes, Donovan Wise has 2 wins over Michael. Okay. Wow. All right. So a lot at stake here for Michael, right? And, anything can happen. When people were looking at the Glory kickboxing record um, of Rico Verhoeven, they were wondering why he had 10 losses. And you had to explain to the casuals that, this is a very competitive sport that literally anything can happen. He says the guy fights 2 to 3 times a year. Dudes fight even 9 times a year. I know. I like that. I like that. 9 fights in 11 months. Like Ibrahim Rabishzi, he had 9 fights in 11 months. Wow. I believe it. That's why the Thais, the Thai fighters, they have records that literally look like high school wrestling records, right? Because I've accumulated at least like maybe 100 matches, wrestling all throughout middle school and high school. So Abdul Sop says, "Remember me? How are you, my man? Shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you. Welcome. You are very welcome to be here. Good to see you, my man." He says, "Crazy, yeah, yeah." Thais have like a lot of fights. Like Bukau, he's got a lot of fights. Rod Tang, all these Muay Thai legends, Thailand guys, they got a lot of fights under their belt, man. All right, so here's round one right now with Boa Papi and Devin Wise. Devin Wise, 2 wins over Boa Papi. He's looking to make it 3-0, and Boa Papi looking to uh, not even the series, but at least get a win within these series that both of them have going on right now. So, from what Samuel Pronto has told us, our expert kickboxing analysis in the chat, he told me that these guys are middleweights moving up to light heavyweight just to be able to fight in this tournament. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So, he says, "Bro, I have a question. Will Armin fight Topuria or someone? Because I'm not sure. There's a chance that they will fight in the future. But you know what, man? Ilya got to win this one. Ilya got to win this one. If Ilya doesn't win this one, then you know what? There's no chance of him ever fighting Armin Sarukian, right? Armin Sarukian is going to move on to the next guy. Okay, so there's a low blow right here by Michael Boapape. And he went for a front kick right there, hit him in the family jewels. Right in the family jewels, he hit him. So, all right, here we go. The action continues. 1-2 shot by Michael Boapape, walking down Wise. Wise backing up, checks the leg kicks. Okay, Glory 109 is in September. Wow, good combinations by Wise right here. Oh, good combinations. 1-2 shot and a low kick by Boapape. 1 minute and 17 seconds left into the first round between Wise and Boapape. I believe this is only going to be for 3 rounds from what I understand, right? These are just 3-round fights. If that's the case, yeah, let me know if that is the case. Wow, yeah, very active effort on both of these guys right now. 50 seconds left into the first round. Front kick by Boapape, and Wise responds with a low kick. Victory says F. Oh, okay. You probably had an error, a little bit of an error there. You probably, yeah. And he says F, and then he says, "What's up? What's up, my man?" I think that's what you meant to say. You probably, yeah, had a little bit of an error there. How are you, my man? Shout out to you. Hope everything is good. Hope you guys are having a beautiful weekend. We got UFC Freedom 250. Oh man, probably one of the most exciting events for fight fans in a long time, especially for MMA fans in particular. All right, 14 seconds left in round number 1 between Wise and Michael Boapape. And there's a 1-2 shot right there by Wise. And then there's not a lot of emphasis in single jabs in kickboxing, I noticed, right? At least not with these guys. They tend to throw combinations and whatnot. All right, that is the end of the first round. Here we go, end of the first round. I think it's 3 rounds, right? Samuel Pronto, if you're here, let me know. I would believe that the tournament is 3 rounds and not 5, right? So, obviously, because he would have to fight more rounds later on, but you never know. They may just have full 5 rounds for every fight. Manchester at the Ego Arena for this misfit showdown between Tommy Fury and Eddie Hall, a traditionally trained boxer and reality star taking on a world record-holding strong man in a crossover for the ages. We cannot wait. Welcome to the madness. Welcome to the chaos. All right, so we now have round 2 going on right now. Yeah, we're going to start off with round 2 right now. Oops. All right, round number 2. Boapape versus Wise. Wise has 2 wins over Boapape, both at middleweight. He says, you can see this where you looking at, bro. He says, you can see this where you looking at. Where am I looking at it? Like, what do you mean? You explain that to me. He says, I need to see this. Oh, okay. You want me to? Yeah, dude. You know how it is, man. I can't show the footage. Yeah. But I can do a play-by-play for you right now. So he says, I want to follow the fight. Okay. All right. So 1-2 shot by Wise. Oh, good uppercut by Wise. Low kick. They always follow up everything with a low kick. He says, "Give me the site, bro." Okay. The site for this one, Stream East. Look for Stream East, okay, and then you're gonna see it on Glory. Glory. What is this? Glory 9 Collision, right? So Stream East, yeah. Hokit destroyed Ilya at the press conference. Scan Burgo says, yes, bro, he absolutely did. Notice how Dana White literally had to end the press conference straight away. Like, as soon as he said, yeah, I'm sorry that your wife is a stripper from Miami, and then they ended it right away. He says, yeah, I don't know why this isn't more popular. Oh, okay, you're watching it as well, Marty. Yeah, man, because it's more of a European thing. Obviously, you see Samuel Pronto. He's very enthusiastic about Glory, right? He's from Belgium. He's also Dutch, I believe. So, these are very big and they're part of the world. It's just not an American thing. Like, for example, RAF, right? Marty, that's our thing. Okay, that is our thing. There's a reason why they call it Real American Wrestling Federation. I don't know what the F stands for, but I guess Real American Wrestling Federation. But anyways, that's ours. That is ours, right? NCAA wrestling, that is ours. Olympic wrestling, that is ours, along with the Russians, the Japanese, and the Iranians. Samuel says, spell it for me, please. Stream East like that. Yes, yes, just like that. StreamEast .com or .org. Yeah, Dutch and Belgium. So you're basically French. He says Tony about to get embarrassed today. Who is Tony wrestling again? Armin, right? Is that right? He's wrestling Armin. Yeah, more than likely, right? I know Tony grew up wrestling and all of that, but man, Armin is so hot right now, man, in terms of wrestling. And you know what's awesome about Armin? Okay, Ferguson versus Armin. Yeah, Armin didn't even grow up wrestling like us, bro. He didn't even grow up under the high school, middle school wrestling system or nothing like that. Not in the United States, not in Armenia, not in any part of the world that he has ever lived in. He says, Scanborough says, glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Josh Hokit roasted Ilya Tapora. That kind of rhymes with it. Hallelujah, Ilya Tapora. Right? That rhymes with it right there. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Josh Hokit roasted Ilya Tapora. He says, don't sleep on Garcia tomorrow. 600-pound gamer says. You wrote something else here. I didn't read that. He also said, Hokit is the man. He isn't scared of anyone. My boy. Facts. Facts. That dude ain't scared of no one. Lionel Cristobal says Lopez versus Garcia is going to be fight of the night. Bro, you got a Mexican American versus a Mexican Brazilian, right? They're Mexican, period, and you know what that means, right? I've fought Mexicans not only in the streets, but also in the cage and in the ring. They are tough people, bro. Okay? Mexicans are, bro, let me tell you, man. If I get into a fight with a Mexican, whether on the street or in a sanctioned environment, the first thing I say is, man, I'm gonna be in for it because I'm not gonna knock this guy out, man. I am not gonna knock this guy out. He's got a chin. Hey, you know what? I got a chin too. I got this, big old Arab tank of a head. You know what I mean? To protect me. But so do the Mexicans, bro. The Mexicans are notorious for having a chin. They're notorious for, but yeah, I am too. I got a chin as well. I've taken a head kick while being down on the ground before, and I woke up from it. I mean, didn't wake up. I was still up the whole time. Never got put to sleep. Whereas the average man would get put to sleep. Lionel Cristobal says, yup, you know the deal. Yeah, man, for sure, bro. For sure. Whether it's fighting Mexicans on the streets or whether it's fighting them in a sanctioned bout, you're in for a war. Okay, you're in for a war. So, we if you grew up in Stockton area, we know a thing or two about fighting Mexicans. Obviously Stockton is the home place of Nick and Nate Diaz. But as you know, I never really rated the gangster of Nick or Nate Diaz because none of these guys ever gangbanged while they were in Stockton. And let me tell you, man, if you're in Stockton, my brother, you need to be in a gang, okay? There's no doubt about it. Otherwise, you're food. It's literally like an open prison. If you live in Stockton, you are literally an open prison, which means you need to be in a gang. And for whatever reason, Nick or Nate Diaz were never in a gang, and that tells me a couple of things. That tells me that they just emulate gang culture. They emulate the mannerisms of gangsters, but never. It doesn't mean they're not real ones. It doesn't mean they're not gangsters. It doesn't mean they won't do gangster stuff. But I'm telling you for a fact, Nick or Nate Diaz never participated in any of the foolery that gone on in Stockton. And that's probably not a very popular opinion, but it's a real opinion if you're a real one and understand that part of the world. 600 Gamer says Garcia easy dog pick. He says that means taco night. You know what, man? I may just have some tacos to celebrate while watching Lopez and Steve Garcia. By the way, for those of you that don't know, Steve Garcia is a friend of Charlie Kirk, right? In his last fight in November, Charlie Kirk was supposed to attend that one, but as you guys know, Charlie Kirk was taken out, at an untimely demise, as a result of that. So he says, that means taco night, my man said. Scannaburo says taco nights. He says the Diaz brothers are in the balloon animals gang. Yeah, making balloon signs. Making balloons for the kids, yeah. Riding bikes with the elders. But you know what? You know who is gangster in the world of MMA, though, right? Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is gangster. Whether you like him or not, bro, every time he's got a case going on, people's cars get blown up. Not only do people's cars get blown up, people somehow miraculously disappear, right, when they have to go to court. I mean, this is a result of the fact that Conor McGregor is tied in with the Irish mob. He's more gangster than Nick or Nate Diaz outside of the cage, which is why he says, whatever happened to the fake Kirk shooter? Good question. They're obviously going to try him and more than likely give him the death penalty. Lionel Cristobal says, are Nick and Nate Diaz still beefing? You mean with each other? I don't think so, man. They're brothers. They come from a culture where, sibling rivalry, almost doesn't exist, right? It's either, there's no sibling rivalry or they're going to get along at some point and squash the beef, right? That's just what kind of the trajectory where I see it. He says the whole thing is such BS. Which one? Are you talking about the Charlie Kirk shooting? Marty, is that what you're referring to? That's BS? Why is it BS? Is it not enough for you to accept that somebody who is a trans lover shot Charlie Kirk? I could understand if that's not enough for you. Obviously, I'm not saying this to be disparaging in any kind of way. I'm just asking questions from a journalistic point of view, right? Because I tell you what, you know who shot John F. Kennedy, right? We all know who hit up John F. Kennedy. And no, it wasn't a former Marine. I know that is the common consensus that we have in world history, right? It was an ex-Marine who shot up Kennedy, and that is the official story. Well, the other aspects of that is he says, you got another stream site, maybe by change. Yeah. Oh, okay. VIP League. Okay, sorry. VIP League. Try VIP Row. VIP Row. VIP Row. Look up VIP Row. So, okay, let's see who the winner is for this one. Okay, Donovan Weiss wins again. Yeah, it's been official. Donovan Weiss wins again. Wow. Okay, yeah, the Suriname crowd looks, or I'm sorry, a bunch of Ghanaians there look pretty pissed off there of the result. I don't blame them. He says that kid didn't do it. So here's the thing, right? Many people also say that Oswald didn't shoot up John F. Kennedy. That's also another common thing that they're saying, right? Oh, he didn't shoot him up. He didn't, bang him or anything like that. Link for you guys. Yeah, VIP Row, VIP Row is where Glory is at, and Buff Stream is where Tommy Fury and Eddie Hall is at. So he says, people link for me. VIP Row. So VIP Row. VIPROW. Right. Best one I could give you right there. So okay, going back to the Charlie Kirk shooting, right? Look, a lot of people are saying that it was them boys that did it. Them boys. You know who I'm talking about. Same thing with John F. Kennedy. I'm sorry, with Charlie Kirk. They're saying that them boys did it because they were highly contesting of them boys, in particular that country in the Middle East, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. So shout out to everybody around the world that is tapped in right now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this thing cracking, guys. He says, I think Donovan Weiss is going to lose this one because Boafa 2 times lose from Donovan Wise is one of the most technical fighters in the organization. Yeah, Donovan just won right now. He won by a 3-round decision. He says Boafa got a big heart. He does, man. He does. I saw that in this fight for sure. All right, so continuing on also with the Eddie Hall and the Tommy Fury card. Lionel Cristobal says, when is the Armin Ferguson fight? That's going to be later on, man. That's going to be like late at night. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming that long. Maybe I should, right? Maybe do a little bit of a marathon stream. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll probably do, a little something like that. Yeah. Let's say one thing for sure. I'm not part of the furry community. Let's get that right. Oh, wow, man. Showing some classic fights of glory right here. Now, what is this? You got this monster from what it looks like is like, I don't know, like Bigfoot chasing this woman down like the ring as an entrance. Skander Bergo says the RAF event starts in 5 hours. Correct, yes. Yes, that starts in 5 hours. All right, so we got a super fight in the light heavyweight division right now. So light heavyweight in glory is 210 pounds. Interesting. Please welcome Ilyas Hamouchi walking out from Morocco. Morocco. Let's go, man. All right, so now we're just awaiting the Glory light heavyweight matchup right now. And then they got a women's fight at the Misfits Boxing. Who cares? No one really cares about that. He says, Victory says, we got Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall today and RAF. I didn't understand Danish versus Kamzat. Um, oh, Dylan Dennis versus Kamzat. Yes, Dylan Dennis versus Kamzat. Yeah, they were talking about how they were going to street fight each other. Um, you know what I mean? And over there, they were talking about, oh yeah, we're going to get into a street fight or this and that. Like, come on, man. You know, Dylan Dennis does not want a street fight against Kamzat. You know what I mean? Like, you imagine, you know, Kamzat is already coming off of a loss against Sean Strickland, right? You know, suppose giving, uh, you know, Kamzat the opportunity to street fight Dylan Dennis and then get a knockout, you know, in between that. Like, think about it, right? You're going to give him an opportunity to get a knockout on you, right? And so that's going to go viral. Once that goes viral, people are going to be like, oh, wow, you know, that's awesome. You know what I mean? And once again, Dylan Dennis getting humiliated as always, you know, because that's sort of a Dylan Dennis marquee to happen around here, right? You know, he just, you know, continues to get embarrassed and embarrassed. And yeah, so Singolium says handsome. Thank you. I'm assuming that is in reference to me. Thank you for that. Let me know what part of the world you are from. Um, he said Kamzat better absolutely wreck him. Oh yeah, dude. Listen, he's okay. So I'm gonna predict a pin. I think Kamzat finishes with a pin. That's what I think. Right? Yeah, I think he's gonna finish him off with a pin. He's going to be able to pin him. He's not gonna be able to do anything in there, right? Because jujitsu, listen, guys, jujitsu is a much completely different sport than that of, let's say, um, oh wow, okay, there's already a knockdown. Okay, was that a slip? Okay, we're watching the Glory fight right now. So, what is that? Is that a knockdown now? Okay, so the referee's counting. Wow, this referee is huge, man. Okay, Ilias got knocked down. Wow. So Movic. Ooh, there's another one. Okay, good kick right there by Ilias. There's a lot of pressure on Kamzat to perform well in this one, but it should be all right. Look, you know what? If you're an MMA fighter, right, I think it's fair to say that all of this is just nothing more than a glorified training session for you, right? Is that fair to say, Marty, right? Oh, like all of this is just nothing more than a glorified training session for you. Okay, like you're not trying to win the Olympics in wrestling, right? That's not the ambition of Khamzat Chimaev. And by the way, that is the reason why they offered Khamzat Chimaev to wrestle Kyle Snyder on RAF, only for him to refuse it. Okay, now that's a different kind of refusal right there. Well, you're thinking, well, okay, you're going to wrestle Abdul Rashid Sajalayev, okay, who is basically the Alexander Usyk of heavyweight wrestling, right? That's also one of Kyle Snyder's top ops in the world of wrestling, right? They've had a rivalry over the years because they were the guys that always made it to the final. So they were the two baddest wrestlers. So here's the thing, right? Kamzat is willing to wrestle with Sajulayev behind closed doors where nobody is watching. And it's just within the privacy of your own training partners. And if you get beat up by Sajulayev, no big deal. You learn something from it. But if you get beat up by Kyle Snyder, okay, in RAF, it kind of destroys your aura a little bit. And many people are already saying that, okay, Kamzat's aura just isn't there anymore. Listen, I'd like to say this, right? I think that, that, I think that Kamzat Shamayev fought a very tough fight against Sean Strickland. And I think that's also indicative of the fact that we don't give Sean Strickland enough credit. We don't give Sean Strickland enough credit in terms of his, terms of his ability to, push a high pace, but not only a high pace, being able to maintain it later down the roads. Later down the rounds, and which is later down the road, but yeah, you know what I mean. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult to fight Sean Strickland. That's just what it really comes down to. Very, very difficult. Okay. And I don't think that it destroyed his aura in any way. He slammed Sean Strickland a couple of times on the ground. He slammed him a few times. So something to think about. He says Hokit kind of called out Strickland. LOL. Hokit called out Strickland. You know what? Interesting fight, right? How would you do that? Would you have, what? That would be an interesting matchup. I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Sean Strickland can probably walk around as heavy as 220, right? Big guy, 220. He can possibly walk around right around there, right? He can fight at 220 against Josh Hokit at some sort of like um, champion moving up a weight, a type of scenario, right? Kind of like what Conor McGregor did as a 145 champion fighting Nate Diaz at 170. It's very similar, right? These little super fights, type of scenarios you got going on. Um, what would make that challenging for Sean is if Sean can hold that much stamina even at that weight, maybe even more, maybe even less. Maybe him at 220 is a little bit too heavy, right? Maybe him cutting down weight, or I'm sorry, maybe him not cutting weight on his off season. Maybe he's a fat slob like Ricky Hatton and Patty Pimblett in between fights. And if so, boy, it'll be really interesting to see if he can somehow negate that situation of being, a heavier fighter against a real heavyweight, right? Which is kind of what we're looking forward to seeing with Alex Pereira tomorrow. Victory says, yeah, he said Strickland walks around bigger than him. Strickland is around 6'1". Josh Hokit is around 6'1", so they're right around the same weight. Josh Hokit is 230. Josh Hokit is exaggerating when he says he walks around bigger than him. I think the most that Sean can weigh in is 220. Okay? 220 is the most that he can weigh, in my opinion, right? Look, at 6 feet tall and somebody who's fought as low as 155 and 170, the most that I could gain is 210. That's the most that I could gain. And I don't even walk around 210. I walk around yearly on the average, I would say around 202 pounds. And the reason why I say 202, because I'm rounding it off to an average, right? If I go to a buffet and I just don't care about my diet, don't care about what I eat, and then I just eat for a whole entire weekend, I could shoot up to 210. Okay, that's the most that I could, really fill up with my body. But for the most part, I walk around like I weighed myself in this morning. I weighed in at like 203 pounds, right, which is average, obviously. Uh, and then sometimes if I get a hard workout in, I, come back at like 192 pounds or something like that, some crazy number like that, and it just shoots back after I eat. So, um, he says, I've seen Strickland at 230. Okay, then once again, it's still an exaggeration, only because, uh, that's essentially them being the same weight, right? So Strickland fighting at heavyweight is literally what Josh Hokit is, because they're both 6'1". They both weigh in at 220. The muscle definition or the muscle mass between them isn't really that far off when you see Sean Strickland living at the weight that he's at. So, yeah. Victory says, I'm typically 225, 235. Samuel says, I'm 145, 1.73 centimeters, and 64 kilos. Okay, my man, you're going to have to translate that in American terms, right? I know what that is, but for the American audience that is reading your comments, you're going to have to translate that. Let's see. He says, Mo Touches versus Donovan Wise final. Let's go. Okay, so now we have the final going on for the tournament in Glory here. So, all right, and then we have John Fury. We have John Fury on the video package right now of the Misfits card. Uh, he says, but strong and lean. Okay, Victory says Hokit could definitely make 85. He's a 205er all day. Yeah, but you know what? Why though, right? Crow Cop used to say, man, you know what? Wait, if I weight cutted, it would feel like I'm a coward, right? That was his whole entire sentiment behind it. So, why cut weight when you don't have to? You could just go fight as the baddest man in the world. And he has the opportunity to do so, obviously. A lot of these heavyweights right now, many people are complaining about. It's sort of, easy work, I suppose, but Scanborough says Strickland could call out Joshua Van. Yeah, right, man. I don't know about all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know about all that. Yeah, that's a serious guy's discrepancy. Scanbergo, are you sure you're not Fresh Lemon Juice? Fresh Lemon Juice used to come in here, and he used to say that Pantoja could beat up Tom Aspinall, and he would really irritate me with that take. Okay, he would absolutely irritate me with that take. Like, he always tries to match up Pantoja with these heavyweights because that's how much he believes in them. He said, I'm sure he's sick of cutting weight. I agree. Respect Hokit fighting at heavyweight. Pereira weighed in at 251 and looked like a legitimate heavyweight. Yeah, man, he really put in the work for gaining weight on this one. And look, man, it's not going to do him any good. Okay, because a lot of you are looking at John Jones like, okay, well, here's John Jones. What does John Jones weigh in at? Like 240 or something like that, right? He weighs in at 240, maybe even close to 250. So he basically did what Alex Pereira did. Okay, he basically did what Alex Pereira did. Here's the difference, though, guys. Here's the difference between him and Alex Pereira. Okay, Alex Pereira is not a wrestler. Moving up a weight only helps for wrestlers. You know who else it helps? It also helps guys that have good elusive footwork. So in MMA, understand this. You want to move up a weight, have good footwork and have good wrestling. If you're in boxing and you want to move up a weight, like Alexander Usyk, by the way, shout out to Alexander Usyk. He met the president this week, the president of the United States, Donald Trump himself, after humiliating the president of Ukraine out of the office several months prior when JD Vance asked him, why are you coming in here not wearing a suit? And lo and behold, you better believe Alexander Usyk went in there on his best behavior with his suit on, probably sent by Zelensky to try and negotiate or try to lobby for Ukraine. Because as you know, Donald Trump right now is worried about Yemen. He's worried about Lebanon. He's worried about Israel, about Gaza, and then his deals with Saudi Arabia and his deals with the UFC. Um, all of these things that Donald Trump has to deal with, right? And so, you know, Zelensky brings Alexander Usyk or sends him to the White House, probably to lobby towards Donald Trump as to say, hey, you know what? Man, listen, we need to get some weapons out there, right? Because Donald Trump has probably cut the funding of weapons towards them. So Victory says that he couldn't stand the woke BS pride flags on the equipment, Black Lives Matter signs everywhere. He said he used to beat up guys that kneeled for the anthem. Who is that that you're talking about? He says BB is the president of the U.S. is a satellite state. Dang, bro, that's the overall sentiment that a lot of people are saying nowadays, right? Oh, okay. So Hokit said that about the NFL. So wait a minute. Wasn't he a partner, I'm sorry, a teammate of Colin Kaepernick? Because were Colin Kaepernick and Josh Hokit 49er members at the same time? You know what? I'm gonna go look that up right now and see if we can find answers on that particular topic. Okay, but at the same time as Colin Kaepernick, he says, I believe Hokit might have been on the team after Kaepernick. Okay, so let us confirm that for sure. Okay. Um, okay, so to answer your question, Colin played quarterback for the 49ers from 211 to 216. Hokit was signed by the 49ers as an undrafted free agent in 2020 and spent the time on their practice squad until 2022. Okay. Because their times with the 49ers were years apart, their paths never crossed. So there you go. That is the answer right there. They were never I'm sorry, they were never teammates, not at the same time. So so what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That tells you that Josh was not there to do any of that while Colin Kaepernick was there. Because obviously, look, man, that's the reason why Colin Kaepernick caused so much controversy in the first place. Not a lot of people are doing that. Okay, not a lot of people are kneeling down like that. Look, the NFL, let me tell you something about the NFL, right? You want to know how you solve white and black issues in America, right? Football, okay? This is why I stand by the idea that, you know what, I don't think Austin Metcalf was a racist. He could have been an asshole, but then again, what football player isn't an asshole? What athlete isn't an asshole? Right? But a racist, no, right? I just don't have the belief in me that white boys who play sports are racist, primarily because you have to go and play with other black kids. So it's going to be very impossible for you to be racist. On top of that, here's something you got to understand too, right? About football. Football is a combat sport. It's a combat sport where you rely on your teammates to help you out in the field, right? It's literally a simulation of war to a certain degree. So you have to treat your teammates like people that you are going to war with. And quite frankly, that is the reason why I don't think white boys, who play football or basketball or any other sports where black people are involved in are racist in any kind of way. But here's what I will say, though, right? What I will say about the NFL is that they have this good old American, patriotic feel to them, right? And I think it is that same sentiment that I think makes it really difficult for people to. It makes it very difficult for people to kind of deviate from, let's say, the norms. Okay, the norms of standing up for the national anthem, not kneeling for the national anthem, right? Whereas in Europe, Premier League soccer is like the complete opposite. Over there in Premier League soccer, these guys are, kneeling every other game, right? I remember like during the pandemic when there were no crowds in England for the Premier League, that is literally what they did. These guys were out there like kneeling, okay, before every game. And I remember a lot of Europeans used to get really, upset by this, but, it is what it is. All right, so more action on Glory right now. I think I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick all the way till the Eddie Hall fight, and yeah, I think we'll just do it like that. We'll do the Eddie Hall fight, and then I don't know, maybe RAF later on. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I won't do RAF. Maybe I'll just sit idly and watch it. There's just some fights I prefer to sit idly and watch. Like for example, tomorrow the White House card. Uh Man, in all honesty, I'm kind of contemplating on not doing it, but at the same time, I know that it'll do good numbers. It'll bring some presence into the channel. So, yeah, I am going to do the White House card tomorrow for sure. But right now, we are covering Glory and Tommy Fury versus Eddie Hall. Sean, I'm sorry, Scabber says, imagine John Jones, Connor, Jan Volk on the UFC card. It's a one off with mostly garbage now. UFC sucks. Yeah, you know what? Look, I'm sorry you feel that way, right? And I understand what you're saying. I understand your sentiments. Look, I want to break something down to you, okay? I want to break something down to you that's really important, okay? Um, Stick around for a couple of minutes. I'm going to explain to you why the UFC card looks like the way that it does and why they decided to go in this particular direction, okay? I'm going to give you some analysis on that in a second, okay? So if you could just bear with me, just stay tuned. I'm going to give it to you in 1 minute. No Diddy, obviously. But yeah, okay. 60 seconds. I'm going to give you my response on why the UFC White House card vehemently sucks right now, okay? Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of my analysis on why I think the UFC White House card sucks, at least in your opinion, right? So Ronda Rousey comes out of her comes out of nowhere and says, "Yeah, hey guys, this UFC White House card sucks." Okay, is she right? Well, I don't know if I completely agree with her, right? She said that the UFC White House card sucks in comparison to what? Now that it is well past May 16th, okay, and her card had passed, we can now vehemently judge as to wonder which card is better. Is it the UFC White House card that's better, or is it Ronda Rousey's card that's better? Because what we got out of the Ronda Rousey card was a shell of Nate Diaz, a shell of himself, maybe even Mike Perry as well. But Mike Perry's excuse was he's been active in bare knuckle boxing and now transitioning back to MMA. It's going to take some time, right? But Nate Diaz just looked awfully bad. Francis Ngannou, we knew that he was going to do the damn thing, doing exactly what he does best, right? Doing what Francis Ngannou does best. We knew that he was going to pull that off. What else? Uh, a lot of predictability that's in that card. 17 seconds of Ronda Rousey, right? And then on top of that, you have people that basically go out of their way as to say, you know what, that was a fake fight. Okay, well, how do you figure that's a fake fight? Well, I don't know, because how is it that Ronda Rousey was able to do that so quickly? Well, you have not watched any of Ronda Rousey's fights in the past, have you? Because what Ronda Rousey has done in the past prior to taking on real competitive challengers such as Holly Holmes or Amanda Nunes was finishing people literally under 30 seconds. Okay, this was common, very common. She had a collection of wins that consisted of 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 13 seconds, right? All of these fast wins that she's had, it's very normal for Ronda Rousey to have had these types of wins. But yet, many people who have never seen that, people who are casuals or people who have not watched MMA prior, are looking at that and saying, you know what, man, maybe there's something fake to that. But yet, the real OGs of the game are like, yup, that's typical Ronda. That's what Ronda does. Okay, that's what she does to lesser competition. She obviously couldn't do that to Holly Holmes because she had good takedown defense. And the only way to really take down Holly Holmes was wrestling offense, right? Which Ronda had none of, to which Miesha Tate had many of, right? Obviously, being able to take her down and choke her out, right? That is essentially what Ronda Rousey wanted to do. And even against Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey was too much for her. Because obviously she had beaten her twice at a certain point. So, it just almost kind of solidified Ronda as like, the best women's fighter of that time until obviously bigger competitions around. So, okay, people were saying that fight is fake, right? But okay, it's not. Either way, it's not a good look. So going back to the White House card, all right, he looked like an amateur versus Perry. Nate Diaz needs to retire. Yes. People think the Ronda fight was fake. Victory says, I hope we never see Ronda again. Well, you want to know my prediction on Ronda, Marty? I'll give you this, okay? I think that she will come back, but it will be for a fight that, let's say, avenges one of her loss. Maybe Holly Holmes, who happens to be signed with MVP. I don't know. Seems like the right trajectory to to move into. Right? Think about it. Holly Holmes is probably going to be very old by the time she gets into the cage with Ronda. Ronda has an opportunity to win that one. Now, is it going to be as easy uh as Gina Carano? Of course not, man. We're talking about a woman who's been active in her craft for several decades now. So the chances of that happening, quite slim. You know what I mean? But who knows? Who knows, right? I think we will see Ronda again, but at a capacity where it's a fight that she knows she can win, or it's a fight that is lucrative for her, or a combination of both. Victory says, I've never really started to dislike Ilya during the lead up to this fight. What is it that you dislike about Ilya leading up to this fight? Are you saying that you never used to dislike him before and that you found some things about him that, may be displeasing to you, or does he come across as somewhat cocky and arrogant in a way that, I mean, look, all fighters are cocky and arrogant, right? To a certain degree. To a certain degree. Like even yourself in mind. There's parts of yourself in mind that sort of believe that we can, take on anyone, right? You got to have a little bit of that, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But the way that Justin describes him is somebody that has a bit of a god complex, right? A bit of a king's complex and what have you, right? And when you have that, I think that is where it kind of draws the line for certain people, right? Like confidence is one thing, but it's also another thing to, yeah, exuberate godlike, godlike behavior. And also, you got to understand, right? Justin is the USA guy. We're both Americans. Obviously, this is supposed to be our event, right? As Americans, uh, but you know how MMA is. It's not a fairy tale. Okay, it's not a fairy tale where Rocky wins against the big bad Russian. Okay, in this case, the big bad Georgian, or the small Georgian that can't even see himself in the mirror, as Hokit describes, and then calls his wife a stripper. Okay, which, by the way, I think is rightfully so. Okay, before I get into the whole stripper thing with Ilya Topora and his wife and all of that, right? I just wanted to say that this White House card, you guys need to understand the reason why it's not as big as you want it to be. It's not Godzilla versus uh, what's his name? I don't know, Godzilla versus King Kong, or some other mythical creatures that you guys can come up with, the Loch Ness Monster versus Jaws, whatever type of super duper matchups you had in your head, all those notions, you can't put that in this card. Let me explain why. Conor McGregor is too expensive for this card. They're already spending 60 million for this card to go on. So that scratches out. John Jones is even more expensive. Okay, think about this. They were going to spend 15 million on John Jones, but now they just decided to spend 10 on Alex Pereira, and they figured, you know what, Alex Pereira is an even bigger investment with a 10 million, as opposed to giving John another 5 million, okay, with a total of 15 million, as sort of a long-term investment, because Alex Pereira is going to be active. He has an 8-fight contract going on. Josh Hokit has an 8-fight contract going on. So they're going to lead this somewhere to get them to fight, right? That's going to be the next thing that they're going to try to put together. Okay? So what you guys need to understand about the UFC is that they are not a going out of sale business. You see, Ronda Rousey thought in her little mind that her card with her collaboration with Jake Paul was going to trump the White House card, no pun intended. She really believed that that was going to happen. She believed that it was going to happen, that, okay, we're going to have the better card. Why? Well, because you got all these superstars, but guess what? All these guys in these cards are superstars too, okay? Which is why you put Steve Garcia and Diego Lopez in the first card, okay? Steve Garcia doesn't have that of a high profile. Lopez has already been on the top. He's gotten a title shot, but he's not a star. Okay, so fair enough. Then put them as the first card. But then as the card progresses, then you got O'Malley, and then you got Ayman Zahabi, not a very well-known name, but guess what? If Ayman Zahabi can beat Sean O'Malley, guess what? You open more doors for the Canadian market. Do you understand how this goes? So in other words, yes, it looks like that Ronda and Nate and Mike Perry and Francis had the better card because they had going out of sale business. But guess what, man? After May 16th, what is MVP doing? What is MVP doing after May 16th? Not a goddamn thing. They ain't doing a goddamn thing after May 16th. And what is the UFC doing after the White House card? Shoot, we got Connor, Max, We got Islam versus Ian Gary in Philadelphia. Okay, we may even have a potential of a rematch between Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev in Abu Dhabi, and they're going to pay Sean Strickland double the money for him to get over there in the sands of Abu Dhabi to fight in front of Khamzat's people, and he will do it. That's what you got looking forward to in the UFC. And guess what? If Ilia Topuria wins, then you got Arman Sarukian, who is just working very hard on promoting himself right now. So there is a difference between a well-oiled machine that is the UFC, and there is the difference between people that put on freak show fights, which is ultimately what Ronda Rousey was going for in terms of why she thought her card was going to be better. So hold on just a second, guys. I'm going to take a small intermission on this right now. Let me know what you guys think on the comments. I will be reading your comments in between. Hold on just a second. Okay, Victory says, I agree with Justin. Even though Justin didn't look great against Patty, I think he's going to pull this off. I think it's his destiny. Wow, man. That is powerful, man. You know what? It's like if the man upstairs wants something for you, there's nothing that's going to stop it. Skanderbergo says Ilya is an arrogant prick. Skanderbergo says, yeah, he's a Connor copycat. Although there are some things that he does different than Connor, you would agree, right? Skanbergo says Cyril and Justin for the win. Yeah, I mean, it's American Independence Day, right? Who won American Independence Day? It was the French and the Americans. And guess what? It wasn't until the French came through, okay, armed the Americans, assisted them with, cannons and artillery, that they were able to defeat the British, right? And this was like in 1794. A lot of people think that America was won in 1776. No, they signed their independence in 1776 and then perpetuated an 18-year war against the British to finally get them up out of here. So, yeah. Scanbergo says Strickland is never going to a Muslim country. If they pay him enough Arab money, I think he will. But who knows? All right, I'll be right back. Hold on a second. Scanbergo says no, never. Well, never say never. Look, that's another topic I'm going to talk about, right? Okay, so two topics I'm going to talk about in just a second, okay? We're going to talk about why I think Sean Strickland is a whore, and we're also going to talk about why Ilya Toporia's wife was a whore and why he divorced her in the first place. We're going to talk about those two things right now in less than 60 seconds if you bear with me, okay? He says top comedians didn't go. Yeah, but you know what? Other comedians also went. So that's also something to think about, right? The comedians that you never thought would go ended up going. Bill Burr. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Scamborough, right? Because that's what I want to talk to you about, right? Some guys say they are all about their principles until they get swayed to a certain direction. So that's kind of the thing that I wanted to talk to you about this. Hold on just a second. Okay, so going back to sorry about that. Had a bit of a long intermission here. Okay, so let's go back to the comment that you made about Bill Burr, right? Or Sean Strickland. This kind of goes into the topic that you're talking about. You said that Sean Strickland is never going to a Muslim country, right? I say the opposite. I think that Sean Strickland has very compromised morals, right? He doesn't have a strong moral compass. I'll give you an example. This White House card is strongly indicative of that. Okay, he says that he doesn't want to go to the White House because it's a show for pedophiles and this, that, or the other. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with him on that. There's some truth to what he's saying. But then the minute he becomes undisputed champion 1 month prior to the White House card, now he gets invited. Okay, now he gets invited to the White House and he changes his whole entire tune. This is a man that can be compromised. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, there's a knockout in Glory right now. Okay, so the minute he finds out that, you know what, hey, you know, I can go do this, that, or the other, you know, he decided he was going to go take the money and go to the White House card, Sean Strickland, right? Same thing with Bill Burr, right? Bill Burr is a guy that claims he has all of these, you know, moral compasses that other comedians have. Next thing you know, he gets signed to do a show in Saudi Arabia, and there he is. He says Bill Burr is brainwashed by his crazy wife. Uh, Scanbergo says, what are the risks with war and fights in those countries? The risks with the war and the fights. So there's not a lot of bombing that's going on in the UAE right now. There was very early on. Oh, wow, that was a good hook right there in the Glory kickboxing card we're watching. Yeah, that was very that was a very dangerous time for the UAE. Very dangerous time for the UAE. Very dangerous time for the region. Now, not so much. It's not as dangerous, right? Because it kind of dwindled down a little bit, right? I don't really see reports from, you know, Arab news but then again, you know how it is. They're suppressing the whole entire information. You see what I'm saying? So you never know, right? There could be still bombings going on right now, and they're probably suppressing it, and we don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like that's another thing that we have to really, you know, take into high consideration. We just don't know if we just don't know if the safety over there is guaranteed. So that is something that we have to, you know, be very cognizant of is the safety measures that has to be taken, you know, in that regard. So yeah, just something to think about, you know. But there are a lot of risks that are involved in that. I would say, yeah, there is a lot of risk going to countries like that. Yeah, a whole lot of risk that is involved in that. So yeah, I would be very careful. I would be very careful going there, man. You know, the Middle East is not as it's not as safe as everyone thinks that it would be, right? But you never know. You never know. So He asks, is that a fire alarm beep? Are you black? Change the batteries. Yeah, I know. Trust me, man. Um, Victory says, what do you think about people boycotting the fights because of the political undertone? You know what? I think that it's stupid. I'm going to tell you why, right? And look, I feel strongly about many of these particular topics that they're talking about, right? Like, for example, who America decides to ally themselves with, right? That's sort of a big focal point in the whole entire right wing Muslim American community, right? That is like the biggest focal point that they argue. Um, so I understand that. I understand that Trump has done many corrupted aspects of use in his presidency. Obviously, this being one of them, right? I don't particularly have a problem with it because I happen to think that the system in and of itself is a scam. So if somebody learns how to scam the system, whether that would be Donald Trump or whether that would be the Somalians, I have no problem with it, and I think I'm ideologically consistent with that, regardless of political ties and anything else that comes with that. Right now, protesting it. Look, I am under the impression that almost no protests work. In fact, all protests do is disrupt, right? Which is primarily what these people are trying to do. They are trying to disrupt the fabric of mixed martial arts, and by doing that, trying to interfere with the biggest show mixed martial arts has ever done, which is at the White House. Okay, because no other organizations can do that. No other sports league can do that. Unless, of course, there is a unique situation, whereas if Obama decided to host an NBA game in the White House, something like that, right? That's something that is plausible, that was, bound to happen just based on his interest for basketball and the fact that Obama pushed many norms, right? I always say that the reason why Trump is president is because of Obama. Number one, he challenged Obama on his birth to this country. And so Donald Trump challenged him. I'm sorry, Obama challenged Donald Trump by saying, you know what, man? You were never the president of the United States, and I was. And Donald Trump says, we'll see about that. But, anyways, Victory says, I think it's kind of ridiculous, especially considering the state of the world, but I want to see the fights. LOL. That's what I'm saying, man. We're just trying to see the fights, bro. Look, man, this fight right here could have gone anywhere. It could have been anywhere in the world, okay? It could have been done in Miami. It could have been done in New York. It could have been done overseas in London. It could have been done overseas in Abu Dhabi, in Riyadh, in Iraq, right? They could have done this anywhere. They decided they were going to do it at the White House. I don't care. I don't care. It's Ilya Tapora and Justin Gaethje by the end of the day. It's Alex Pereira going for a third belt by the end of the day, which is what the UFC does best. And if it just so happens that Donald Trump wants to support it, so be it. Support it. But guess what? It's not going to guarantee that I'm going to vote for you in the polls. It's not a guarantee that I'm going to go out of my way to praise MAGA or to somehow, get in fellowship with other MAGA, subordinates in any kind of way. Not at all. He says, I honestly think Trump is just an actor. LOL. He says, you hear the coach from Jackson Wank isn't cornering his fighters. What is up with that, right? So there's another conversation right there, right? What is up with that? Is that a political move by um Homie to do that? Like, what is his grievance, right? Like, I always wondered, what is the politics of Greg Jackson? Like, what is your politics? What is making you do this? He says, you hear the coach, yeah. What is making you do this? Like, what is your motivation? Like, is your motivation because you really feel something about the president? Is it because you really feel that there is corruption going on, or is it just you don't like the guy? I mean, what is it? What is your grievance? What is your grievance to all of this? You know, but I'm curious to know, right? Obviously, Greg Jackson has not came out and talked about it. What I will say is, eventually, he says it's stupidity because it's not going to change ish anyway. Correct, correct. And then all you're doing is giving your fighter a disadvantage. You know what I mean? You're giving your fighter a disadvantage. Imagine that. You're giving him a disadvantage based on whatever it is that you're feeling about this president. But I get it. I get it. It's, you know, it is what it is by the end of the day. All right, guys, listen. I think that is all that I have for this one right now. Let me see here. Yeah, I think we'll call it quits on this one. We will be back maybe later on to have a recap of the whole entire event. Remember, Tommy Fury, RAF, Glory Kickboxing. We got all of that going on right now. Okay, wait a minute. We got the grand final right now for Donovan Wise versus Mohamed Touche. Okay, maybe I might stick around for this. Okay, I might have to stick around for this one right here. Um, All right, yeah, I'll stick around for this one, right? One more matchup, we'll stick around for it, and then we'll call it quits. How about that? Yeah, one more match. So there's Donovan Wise right now walking out. Yeah, I like this tournament setup that they have going on. Really nice tournament setup. By the way, the Tommy Fury fight, I'm going to predict Tommy Fury by decision. I think he's going to run circles around Eddie Hall, and Eddie Hall is going to have a hard time hitting him. I think that's how ultimately this is going to go. All right, so Donovan Wise is walking into the cage right now, or the ring rather. He's got the black Fairtex Glory gloves going on, walking into the ring. All right, so Donovan Wise, man, it just felt like only a couple of minutes ago I saw him in here, and now he's already in the ring once again. I wonder how much rest the other guy took in order for him to get in here. Like he probably fought really early on in the night. See, there's a little bit of some bruise on the eye of Donovan. All right, Mohamed Toushati. Toushate, that's an interesting name. I know that's a very Moroccan name, but yeah, Toushati, very Toushati. Mahimi is Mohammed, and I got Tushates. All right, man. Here we go, man. Main event. I think this is the main event, or at least the last fight of the night, I would assume. But yeah, let's see. All right, so obviously this is going to be a 3-round affair. All right, so the two finalists are being announced right now. So Donovan Weiss is 15-2 in glory. I'm sure he probably has like, 50 fights in kickboxing or something like that. So this is the second title fight of Muhammad Touche's career right here. All right, so round one so far, Muhammad Touche and Wise. Muhammad Touche walking down. Good head kick. Ooh, wow. Head kick, and then he follows up. Wow. He backs him up, man. He looks like he's gonna finish Wise here. Swinging away is Muhammad Touche. Ooh, good shots. Good knees. What was that? What was that little weird rule set that they had going on where he was not allowed to throw a knee at him? What was all that about? Yeah, so now Mohamed Touche is really trying to look for a finish in this one, man. He did very good rocking him early on, man. He needs to continue that. There's another knee right there. And it's only 3 rounds, too, 3 minutes. So, he's got plenty of time to go for another finish, or maybe this is going to go to, a decision perhaps. But man, I think Mohamed Touche may finish him in this one. Glory Collision 9 we are watching right now, also covering the well, at least giving a bit of some preview to the Eddie Hall versus Tommy Fury fight. Okay, good high kick right there by Touche. Ooh, good kicks by Touche. I'm sorry, by Wise. Wise counters with some shots. Ooh, then there's Touche with a counter right there. And that is the end of round number one. So that's the end of round number one. Yeah, I'm giving that to Mohamed Touche, obviously. Touche to Mohamed Touche on that. All right, round number 2 between Muhammad Touche and Donovan Wise. Light heavyweight Grand Prix final we are watching right now. So everybody around the world that has tapped and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this thing cracking. Yeah, so the judges, yeah, all scored it for Muhammad Touche in round number 1. Let's see if, but you know what? Very defensively sound on Donovan Wise now, considering that he got rocked in the first round. A bit of some improvement there. 219, 216, 215 of round number 2. Wow, man. Real ambitious spinning attack right there by Touche. There's John Fury right now being interviewed on the side of the zone. Okay, good leg kicks right there by Muhammad Touche. All right, Muhammad Touche is winning this round number 2 as well. I think just the activity level that he had going on here, I think ultimately is what's winning him this fight. Oh, man, it's hard shots right here. Oh, hits him with a cross right there. Backs him up on that one. One more round. One more round on this, man. One more round. Also, Scanborough, right? You also have to understand, right? How do you know I'm at my house? Okay, that's another thing you have to understand. How do you know I'm at my house? There's a reason why I don't have my camera on. And anytime that I don't have my camera on, I'm sometimes on the road. And when I'm on the road, I'm going different places. So I want you to keep that in mind. Okay. Uh, yeah. I may not be in my house. So, just letting you know that for reference sake. So, all right, we got round number 3 coming up right now. All right, round number 3. I think this is going to be a win for Muhammad Touche. What is this? We got a little bit of a low blow right here. So a little bit of a pause in action. All right. 245, 243, 244 of the third round. Jumping body kick on, spinning heel kick right there on the part of Touche. Okay, we're going to have to ban this person right here. Boom, you're on 24-hour timeout. Sorry, we can't have all that over. All right, 149, 145, 144. Ooh. One oh nine, 107, 106, 105. Oh, there's another knock. Well, he almost knocked down Donovan Wise on that one. Yes, you think O'Malley wins. The consensus say that O'Malley is a favorite, and I can see why. Former champion, great movement, uh, very elusive movement at that. But if there's anybody that could beat him, it's a team like Faraz Zahabi, the brother of Ayman Zahabi, and George St. Pierre in his corner. Okay, so I need you to keep that in mind of who O'Malley is fighting here, right? He's not just fighting a man per se, right? He's fighting somebody that is, what do you call it? Somebody that has championship level experience behind them. So I'm going to say it's going to be a hard fight. I don't think there's going to be a finish in that fight, just like this one is not going to go to a finish between Donovan Touche and Muhammad Weiss. I'm sorry, Muhammad Touche and Donovan Weiss. So that's the end of the fight right there. Let's see who wins this one. He says, can he wrestle? I think so, yes. He's trained with GSP, bro, and he's done nothing but work on wrestling this whole entire fight, this whole entire fight camp. So be on the lookout for Ayman Zahabi to go for takedowns. Be on the lookout for that, is all I got to say. So, all right, man. 9 minutes of action already to determine the championship of the Glory Grand Prix light heavyweight. Yeah, after the decision of this one, we're going to go into a bonus round, okay? A little bit of a bonus round on the stream for you guys. Uh, Scanbergo, are you going for O'Malley in that fight? Or is, or do you see him losing this fight as well? Let me know your thoughts on that. Let's find out the winner of this fight. Okay, so another bout is about to be announced in the Misfits card right now. But yeah, we're getting to the judges' scorecard right now for the Glory Collision. Oh wow, you got a split decision here. And the winner is Muhammad Tusi. Touche. Touche. Scandabego says O'Malley's confidence can't be good right now. The pressure to win and becoming a gatekeeper. That's a very good point, man. That's a very good point. And look, here's one thing that I do wonder, right? I wonder at what point does it become limited? Does it become a limiting factor that you're only training with Tim Welsh? Now, don't get me wrong, Tim Welsh is a great coach, okay? I highly rate Tim Welsh as a coach, okay? Um, he says, I agree with the O'Malley take. Right, and then considering the fact that he never really changed teams, I think that has a factor into it as well, right? Just never being able to change teams or anything like that. Yeah, I think he's going to lose. I agree with the O'Malley take. I can see that. All right, guys, stay tuned for the bonus round of this live stream. I'm really going to be live on this one. All right, so how many degrees is it out here in Sacramento right now? It is probably around 100 degrees right now out here. And I'm going to train outside, show you guys a little bit of a demonstration of how you train at 100-degree. Okay, so the weather outside, guys, is officially 94 degrees, right? How many degrees is it right now in Washington, D.C.? Let me go see if I can find information on that right now. What is the degrees in Washington, D.C. right now? So Washington, D.C. is 88 degrees right now. All right. So it kind of gives you a little bit of an anticipation for tomorrow. Okay. So guess what? It's a little hotter here. So I think we're going to have ourselves a nice little training session. We're going to have ourselves a nice little training session in the middle of this heat. That's what we're going to do. All right. And you know what? To make it even more challenging, we're going to do it right outside of the mats. So, literally, right here, right? We're going to do it in the middle of the mats. He says, it's effing hot. Mark Haney, shout out to you, my man. He says, have you seen the footage comparing Alex and Cyril's athleticism? Alex moves like a cow. He does, man. He says, I'm calling Pereira, Gaethje, O'Malley, and Lewis. Oh, man, you ain't giving no love to Josh Hokit, bro. Hey, man, that dude represents the Fresno Bulldogs. I mean, like the real Fresno Bulldogs. And I'm wondering if that is where he kind of gets his little Vato Loco type of like, persona he has going on, and he like pulls out these, Vato Loco bids that he does, but we'll see, man. All right. Hopefully, we don't get flagged. He says Hokit is funny. He is, man. Hopefully, we don't get flagged for the, Tupac thing right now. He says, I got no disrespect for him, honestly. I just want Lewis to win because he's funny and down to earth. Okay. He says, okay, I see you, scrappy fella. Good fluid. Yes, thank you. Doing a little 5-rounder, round 2. Higher. Respect. Thank you, man. All right. Round. Fluid footwork. That's right. That's right. Round 3.
Just,
All right. That's all I got.